Thank you for joining us this afternoon, at least in Eastern time zones, yes, wherever you're calling in from. Thank you for joining us. The IEEE Young Professional webinar series, a monthly webinar series. Today we have a webinar on technology-enabled humanitarian works by Sampath Kumar. I guess I'll give a brief introduction to him. The founder and director of Brahmam Innovate Lab. He's known for his leadership and technology innovations in developing large-scale computing systems for solving complex real-world challenges. He's accredited with numerous international awards for his technological contribution, and for close to a decade now, he's led several technology humanitarian programs in his career, IEEE volunteering activities. Moving on to the slide, I just have some information about IEEE professionals. So the next slide. Am I on the are you on slide 2?
Yeah.
The new name and a new field to IEEE. We've changed our name, but that's on the next slide. A brief introduction is myself. I'm Matthew Karras, a webinar specialist located in Toronto. I'm part of the MG Young Professionals group. I'm also currently the vice chair of the Toronto Young Professionals Affinity group, where we host some events here in Toronto, including a mixer. And before IEEE Young Professionals will be hosting monthly webinars in 2014 on effective communication and leadership, many more. And this is another example of a humanitarian framework webinar we're having. So on to the next slide. So webinar etiquette. Please mute your microphone by pressing *6 on your phone, using the actual microphone on your phone itself, or if you're using the IP voice feature, you can just hit mute me at the top of your red bar. Please keep any questions to yourself or in the chat box myself. Then we can have questions at the end following the webinar during a 5 to 10 minute session, and questions can be answered at that time. Next slide. And, like I mentioned before, there's a new name and a new field to IEEE Young Professionals. We were called the Graduates of the Last Decade Affinity Group, but IEEE Gold was not instantly recognized as a Young Professionals group. Is exactly what we are. The name makes it easier to find information and benefits to young professionals in IEEE, and we've tremendous success. There was a relaunching event in the Santa Clara Valley section, which was extremely successful. In Toronto, we hold quarterly mixers for young professionals, regardless of which field they're in, and each mixer has essentially over 250 attendees, and also the Central Texas mixer at the International South by Southwest Music Festival are also success. We also have a Gold Rush blog. Please read up on our young professional blog on the website shown there below. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Sam to begin his webinar, and is on his webinar, and I hope you enjoy it. It's on technology-enabled humanitarian framework. So Sam, take it away, and thank you again for giving this webinar.
Thank you, Matt, for giving a brief introduction for hosting today's webinar. Welcome to everyone. I am Sampath Kumar Veeraraghavan. I am the host of today's webinar presentation. Today I will be presenting a talk on the topic Technology-Enabled Humanitarian Frameworks. Before the webinar, I would like to first express my thanks to the IEEE MGA board, the Young Professional Committee, webinar organizing team, the staffs and the volunteers in organizing this program today. Thank you all. I welcome you all once again. So as part of today's webinar, we are dividing the webinar into 4 different segments. The segment will be discussing about what are the large-scale humanitarian challenges and should engineers engage in technology-based humanitarian programs. The second segment presents about the Brahmam model. The meaning here is knowledge, how we can apply our engineering expertise to solve real-world challenges. Under this, we are going to discuss 2 dimensions offered by this model. One is the innovation dimension, another is the volunteering dimension. Third segment, the webinar will present the operational experiences gained from our program. We will be talking about the fundamental steps that needs to be considered while facilitating a technology-enabled humanitarian programs. We'll be talking about how IEEE as a global platform offers tremendous opportunities to engage in humanitarian activities, and we'll be specifically discussing about a few case studies both from the innovation dimension as well as the volunteering dimension. As part of this topic, first we need to understand what is the correlation between technology and the humanitarian space. Advancements in engineering have always been central to the progress of human civilization ever since the invention of wheel. Engineering addressing basic human needs, the more sustainable development so as to reduce poverty. As engineers, we pretty much influence the way the world interacts, works, and lives. Hence, we have a social responsibility to make solutions that can improve the living conditions of people at the bottom of the pyramid. So, as a technologist, it's very important for us to come with solutions which reduce the knowledge gap that is between developed and underdeveloped segments of the society. As the technology evolves rapidly, real challenges to come out with solutions that can address the global and humanitarian challenges in a sustainable manner. How large are these problems, basically, right? According to United Nations Engineering Report, some of the most pressing challenges that's been addressed by the actors in humanitarian and technology spaces are listed here. The first thing is providing affordable access to healthcare. This includes coming out with solutions, low-cost solutions, and create critical medical avenues for people at the bottom of the pyramid. Tackling the energy crisis, right? How do we provide energy resources to energy-deprived population living in developed and underdeveloped nations? Transportation and climatic changes, like transportation plays a very critical role with respect to poverty alleviation. If you have good public transportation facility, then it's going to affect the living conditions of people at the bottom of the pyramid. So it's very important to have a good transportation infrastructure where the prices of the commodity can be controlled and measures can be taken to ensure the vicious poverty cycle can be avoided. Equitable access is another interesting area where the challenge is to ensure that equal opportunities are given to people from diversified cities so that they can utilize and apply technologies in their day-to-day activities. Drinking water, clean drinking water, and mitigation disaster. I mean, the problem with natural and man-made disaster is if you don't have preventive measures in place, they're going to affect you in several aspects like social or financial or life and property. So mitigations provides you the step of preventive measures which you take today so that you can actually reduce the impact of natural and man-made disasters in the future. And you have challenges to protect the environment and the natural resource management. So if you look at all these challenges, right, what does these challenges have in common, right? So all these challenges, they have, if you look at the magnitude of all these challenges, they're of greater scales. So that means what does it offers to engineering forum? Basically, it offers a lot of opportunities for engineers to engage in innovation and to develop ingenuity solutions to these challenges. And moreover, the challenges offers a tremendous scope for us to connect and collaborate collaborate with technical and non-technical disciplines. Engineers have to engage in humanitarian activities. I mean, there are so many reasons. One of the reasons, as we discussed right now, is the challenges offers opportunities for us for creative solution formulation. Right. At the same time, it helps us to connect and collaborate with interdisciplinary domains, where we can provide our technical expertise and design and deliver solutions that can directly touch the life of people. On a personal front, I believe by participating in a technology-based humanitarian activity, it provides an increased self-satisfaction for delivering meaningful and useful solutions and positively influence the society. Interesting fact is these programs help us to get better public visibility to enable the public to understand the role of engineers and its societal impacts, basically. Finally, it also helps us to promote engineering and engineering education as an attractive career path to people. These are some of the reasons why engineers are interested to engage in tech-based humanitarian activities. I would also like to give an interesting model here. This is a model from the UNESCO's report called as What's Engineering and Its Challenges. So this model, it defines a strong correlationship between engineering and the society. Society comes with needs, and engineers comes with solutions to meet these needs. So this is a continuous process, kind of a social innovation loop, where engineers continuously comes out with the new goals, objectives, strategies to the rising needs of society. The solution can actually bring in changes in the life of people at the bottom of the pyramid. Coming to the Brahmam model, as I said, the Brahmam keyword implies meaning. The model was devised I was inspired to engage in real world, to address real world challenges during my undergrad program. So the core vision of this model is basically to advance engineering and technological innovations to addressing global humanitarian challenges in a sustainable manner. The model also advocates it wants to foster equitable opportunities from underrepresented segments of society to technology-assisted community engagement. So the model basically comprises of three major actors. One is the engineering community. The one is people from the underrepresented society or the affected population. And then you have the society basically, which comprises of both engineers as well as the affected population. The model provides you two different dimensions. The first one is the innovation dimension. So it implies this, as an engineer, we can come out with solutions by applying our expertise, and solutions can directly match the societal needs and challenges. This includes, you can create a software system to assist people with disability, and come out with a product to handle the local natural disasters or man-made disasters, or you can come out with a solution for a disaster response management system. Here we devised a product specifically, and we wanted to make sure the product directly influences the society. In volunteering dimension, the goal is how we can take advantage of global professional platforms like IEEE, can utilize our leadership and mentoring capacities to create opportunities that can improve the living conditions of people at the bottom of the pyramid. Includes to, as an IEEE volunteer, how we can come out with mentoring programs and conduct educational outreach programs, and actually create opportunities for the affected population and help them to gain the life skills, and turn create the local capacity and contribute towards the betterment of society. Again, a summary of the entities, the three entities, and the relationship that prevails between the three entities, basically. Here we can follow innovation dimension or the volunteering dimension to create positive impacts for the society to technological solutions. It also provides four different important aspects, right? Once we decided we wanted to engage in a technology-based humanitarian problem-solving method, the first goal is basically to clearly define the problem, and the next goal is basically to connect and collaborate with domain important as technologists, we can come out with cutting solutions, but it's very important unless we find the right actors who can actually take our solution and integrate into the community, we will be able to make it a sustainable solution. So it's very important we identify and connect with shared visions with the domain experts and field players in the humanitarian space. In other words, it's also help us to come out with a community-based centric innovation. I mean, rather than developing the solution by itself, it helps us to view the community as being a part of the solution formulation process. And when is delivered, as I said, it's very important. It has to be infused into the community so it can be sustainable and can produce the influences in terms of social, cultural, financial security, and so on. So, actually advocates to provide a very integrated and interagency approach. It views that engineers participating in humanitarian programs is a continuous process. It's not a standalone process. The engineer acts as an analyst, evaluator, and implementer of the solutions. It organizes and promotes that community-based mechanism is very important, because unless we build the local capacity, the solution is not going. And finally, it advocates that providing a technological platform will help to engage and empower the affected. With this introduction, I would like to share about some of the fundamental steps we adapted in our BOM model. So in the flowchart here, we have 3 different vertical segments. The first segment is called as your defined segments. And then the middle vertical segment is called as a transformation segment. The last one is basically called as the deliver and the sustainable segment. Okay. So the first goal of problem solving here is to understand the problem domain, right? How large is the problem? Once you decide you want to engage yourself in the technology-based humanitarian problem solving, you need to understand why do you want to solve this problem, identify the various you need to evaluate the problem domain from the perspective of social. What are the financial securities you are going to create? How it's going to have a cultural implication, or how it's going to influence the ecology of the local community, actually. It's very important to understand the problem domain. Next thing is, once you know, okay, this is the problem segment I want to work on, the next goal is basically to define the technology space, basically. The goal of technology space is to make sure whether do we have the right technology and the right resources in place for us to engage in the development of solutions, basically. Do we have current technology or current solutions which we can actually, we can assemble to come out with the integrated solution that can help us to meet our problem statements in the problem domain. Third is, what is the goals and sustainable design objectives? So trying to employ here is, it's very important how you are going to take your solution, how you are going to integrate your solution into the community, and how you can engage the community members as a catalyst to take your technology and make it a sustainable solution, actually. The fourth point, as I said, to be successful in humanitarian space, it's very important to identify mentors and to identify partners who can guide you in the right direction and who can share your shared vision to make sure your solution can be integrated into the community successfully. Now, looking into the vertical segment, which is a transformation segment, this is pretty much a systematic approach to follow by any engineer to solve a given problem. What we do here is we have to be very specific in terms of our problem statement. Okay, what are the needs? And then we're going to define how do we transform these needs into system specific, basically. So concept design, what you're going to do is you're going to evaluate the needs and you're going to come out with a blueprint of the system at a high level. And then it's very important to come out with the alternative view of the designs as well. Make sure what positive and negative implications of integrating our solutions into the community. Then we formulate a detailed design. I have a detailed design in place. We recommend to build a quick prototype of the solution just to make sure we clearly understand the problem actually. It is much easier to carry out shorter development cycles and come up with solutions, and we can engage the partners to make sure whether the developed prototype meet their needs or not. In that way, we actually avoid huge development costs and error costs if huge potential issues are found out at a later stage of the implementation. And also, another important activity here is we are trying to engage the partners as part of our solution formulation. In that way, it becomes a community-centric formulation process, solution formulation process. We know the solution actually meets the needs of the end user. Next goal is basically to plan for the field study. The real challenge with respect to the field study is we don't have the domain expertise, so we have to clearly define the responsibilities of your partners, who can either be a local NGO or can be a local community organization, who is going to take the solution and help you to integrate the solution. Now, the important aspect here is we have to be very, very careful. We have to define the metrics to define the success of your program. Like, how do we quantify the success of your program? Is it by the number of people benefited by your program? It's by the number of opportunity your program is going to create, or is going to be the financial opportunities you're going to create for the local community. Now, after that, it's become the assumption of the entire processes. It's going to be a continuous loop, and there's going to be a sustained development through the post-implementation. Now, important aspect here is we have to make sure we apply the IEEE Code of Ethics at every stage of the process to make sure the things that we deliver are safe. It retains the financial, social, cultural, and ecological balances of the community. So we wanted to make sure if there are negative implications of our solution, then we make sure there are mitigation plans in place so as to reduce the risk. There are preventive measures to handle those scenarios. As part of today's webinar, as I said, our research group, we are going to present two dimensions basically as part of today's webinar. So here I'm going to talk about the innovation dimension. The focus is how engineers can come out with solutions that products which can directly influence the society. Now, our group has been engaged in different focus areas in the last 10 years of our development activity. Some of the areas are education, agriculture, medical diagnosis, rural development, and healthcare. Considering the time constraint today, as part of this webinar, we'll be discussing two case studies under the innovation dimension. One is the disability and another is the healthcare solution. The case study on the innovation dimension. So the solution is called as automated screening system for autism. So the way the case studies are going to be discussed is there will be a brief background about what is the challenge, and then there will be brief explanation about what is the technology and how this technology was integrated into the community. Now, case study presented here is a technological solutions to assist in screening of autism. Autism is a complex neurological disorder which can affect children typically at the age of 18 months. It's a very complex disorder, and children affected with autism have a strong lack of skills, social and language. And the incidence rate of autism is about 1 to 88 or 150 children varying on the type of societies across the globe actually. So the real challenge of autism is in developing nations. The children affected with autism, they benefit from early intervention program. But in developing nations like India, limited resources and limited awareness about the role of early intervention, and it makes it pretty hard for the parents to identify children with autism, and it can take up to about 2 years, which results in loss of time, valuable time and resources to start early intervention program. So to address this issue, we devised a software solution called as the automated screening system. And this is actually it integrates and it embeds advanced methods in expert systems, large-scale computing, and software solutions to screen the children in the areas of fine motor, gross motor, social and language, and summarize where the child demonstrates any developmental delays within a 30-minute screening session. was delivered to local NGOs, and they have been involved at every stage of the development of the solution to ensure the solution actually the local capacity. And now the solution is successfully being implemented across 15 different sites, such as NGOs, rehabilitation centers, academic institutions, and research institutions in southern India, were being used to conduct field studies, in turn to provide digital model and to manage autism. Notice that you are seeing on the right-hand side of the slides, basically, are the images from the second Asia Pacific Gold Congress organized by the Madras Gold, for which I was the chair. So, as a token of appreciation, the children benefited by this technology, attended the program, and demonstrated dancing skills and storytelling skill as a gratitude to make sure they got benefited by this technology. So it always gives immense pleasure at a first friend when your solution actually brings in positive changes in the life of people with social and economic conditions. But the focus area is basically about the creation of a statewide information system on disability. The United Nations reports that 10% of world's population live with some kind of disability. 80% of this population lives in developing countries. So what is really important here is, if you don't have precise statistical information on disability trend, then pretty much it's going to affect the nation-building projects, the social welfare projects that are intended towards other people with disability. As if you don't have a precise statistics, it's going to influence and affect the researchers in the field of rehabilitation, because you don't have baseline data to pursue research. You can't really measure and monitor the welfare programs introduced by governmental and non-governmental agencies. Technology device is called as ISHHS. It's called as Information System on Human and Health Services. The technology is basically a large-scale information management system, which actually gleans the information on 9 different segments and on disability. The goal of the project is to create a centralized information system which can connect governmental agencies, non-governmental agencies at a state level, and can help them to give it the right set of data to come up with welfare programs, and can address the pressing challenges faced by the disabled community. This solution has been successfully implemented across the state of Tamil Nadu, across all the 32 districts, and the solution was developed using open source technology and was delivered as a free service to emphasize the social responsibilities of engineers. Implementation, the solution has opened up critical avenues to pursue research in the field of rehabilitation, has established strong network avenues between engineering forums as well as the NGOs and the local governmental organizations. Well, so we have seen how as an engineer, how an individual, you can come out with solutions which can really influence the society through the innovation dimension. Now, the rest of the webinar will discuss about the volunteering dimension of the Brahmam model. Now, if you various stages of problem solving in the humanitarian space, the stages involved are define, connect, collaborate, innovate, deliver, and sustain. And look at IEEE being the world's largest technical professional body. The resources and the kind of knowledge repository it offers is tremendous, and becomes a great asset for IEEE volunteers to engage in the humanitarian-based programs. So the defining phase, where we try to understand the domain and the technical expertise, IEEE offers a tremendous amount of knowledge assets here. If you look at some of the statistics, IEEE offers about 10 million documents in IEEE Explorer, and 1,000 standards and projects, and 140 transaction journals and magazines, which is a great asset for us to understand the technical and the domain aspect of the problem that you're trying to solve in the humanitarian space. Now, with respect to networking, we can see like IEEE has more than 400,000 members, and they come from across 160 countries. And 160 countries, 160 countries, and 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 160 cou where they provide a collective learning and a diversified perspective, which is a great asset for us to connect and collaborate with such a networking opportunity provided by the IEEE platforms. So the slide, we are going to discuss about what are the various stages of problem solving and what are the resources offered by IEEE. Now, the stages, the first stage of problem solving is going to be the domain expertise. I mean, how to gain the domain expertise. So, some of the resources that's been offered by IEEE here are the IEEE Explorer, which provides you like 4 million documents, gives you pretty much information about the latest technological innovations and methods for the problem domain we are trying to solve. The IEEE TV offers a lot of webinars and TV programs which are quite interesting and give us directions and inspirations to engage in humanitarian programs. And of course, the IEEE publications and magazines provide plenty of articles for us to gain the knowledge expertise needed to solve the problem in the humanitarian space. The second stage here is the connection. As I said, IEEE provides plenty of networking opportunities. You can attend the IEEE local conferences and local, regional and local events, IEEE society chapters and workshops. The great platform for us to find the mentors and partners needed to solve the integrative solutions basically in the community. So the third step, as I said, is collaborative, design, innovate, and execute. IEEE provides plenty of opportunities, and we will discuss all the this platform in the next slide. It's just a quick summary of what are the different avenues offered by IEEE here. So once you deliver and you successfully integrate your solution and celebrate by bringing positive changes in the life of people, and you say it's very important you share those guidelines and best practices in IEEE blogs or newsletters or magazines or social media forum, where we can create avenues for others to follow and adapt in their own humanitarian programming. Here we have a quick summary of the various opportunities offered by IEEE. The first is IEEE Young Professional. So I started engaging myself in humanitarian activity by being a student and a gold member. Well, IEEE professionals used to be called as gold. So it's basically like it provides tremendous opportunities for student members and young professionals to collaborate and engage with people with shared vision, and a lot of opportunities for us. That is basically the IEEE Society on Social Implication of Technology. So this is an interesting society in IEEE which actually talks about what are the implications of technology across different sectors and what are the ethical aspects of the design basically. It does have a strong community activities and a good magazine as well. Finally, this is actually like an honor society for IEEE, and it not only emphasizes technical and academic excellence, but promotes the social responsibilities of engineers. I am IEEE Kapanu member. Some of the some of the strong platform the Kapanu provided to me were connecting to experts in this domain and how you can engage yourself to solve humanitarian crisis and build local capacity in your local regions, basically. And Power and Energy Society actually has an interesting program called as Community Solutions Initiative. It's called CSI. And what they do is they engage volunteers, domain experts to come out with open source designs and to formulate energy solutions to needs of energy deprived population in developing nations. IT side, it's kind of on the similar lines of IEEE Young Professionals and Women in Engineering. So the stands for Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology. This is a very terrific program, and it offers a great platform to humanitarian technology at grassroots level, the sectional level, basically. Then there's IEEE TV, and as I said, it provides a lot of opportunity for us to learn about interesting technologies and programs on the humanitarian and technology space, actually. Well, if you're a student, the IEEE also provides you a great platform called as IEEE Presidents Change the World Competition. We can actually work together as a team with other students from other student chapters to solve a real-world problem by engaging yourself along with the senior members as mentors, and can promote a platform for you to actually demonstrate your solution. IEEE Women Engineering is also a great forum which actually provides a lot of useful programs to engage women engineers and use their expertise to come out with programs to inspire girl students from underrepresented sections of the society. Here I'm going to give you a quick summary of the Brahmam volunteering dimension. So when we started adapting the Brahmam model as part of our volunteering activities, the goal was basically to engage the representatives from the affected population and help them to gain the skills and techniques, so they can become the catalyst for change in their community. So there are many individuals to get inspired and give them the life skills so they can be the change agent for their community and help community to grow actually. So in other words, make them to be part of your community-centric solution, where take your solution and integrate it to build a local capacity. The individual grows, the community grows. The community grows, the region grows. The region grows, in turn, it creates a positive ripple effect to the global family. This is the vision of the programs actually. So I'm going to give a quick outline about what the opportunities we were engaged, programs we were engaged as part of IEEE's volunteering opportunities. The first one talks about creating solutions for students with special needs. There are various programs we created to assist people with disability. This includes taking the local affinity groups to visit the local schools with special needs and try to understand their needs and work with solutions. Some of them includes creating educational modules based on computer animation so as to help children with special needs make the learning process more enjoyable and train skills in social language aspects. The second one is basically the educational outreach program. Here what we did was we joined hands with women in engineering and other affinity groups at a sectional level. Where we conducted a frequent educational outreach program where we go and talk to children about the importance of engineering and conduct workshops such as Science Day or Technology Day, where actually take robotic solutions and helps them to understand how it's fascinating to develop and assemble their own robots basically. This is basically the Rural Development Initiative. This is one of my favorite initiatives, and what we pretty much did here was the local resources grassroots level, and try to engage the engineering community to the rural areas with meaningful programs which can meet the needs of the local rural community. For instance, we actually kind of established two programs where we were able to conduct a field survey of the local rural villages, and we kind of prioritized what are their needs, and we devised a software solution basically to connect the needs of the local villages with the local NGOs, where each local NGOs can use their domain expertise to conduct programs that can address the specific needs of the villagers. Summary of the IEEE volunteering programs are a joint IEEE society programs offers great scope for civic engagement. It also offers a great public visibility and provides increased networking opportunities for the IEEE members. Some opportunities are IEEE Young Professionals and Women Engineering workshops, student networking events, IEEE Kapanu induction ceremonies, or some of the avenues where we can actually meet people with similar interests and we can start our collaborations. So programs like this can give a lot of opportunity to increase the membership as well as to engage the members by involving the senior and fellow members to act as mentors and subject experts to guide the students so that we can inspire the students to solve real-world problems and encourage them to participate in global forums like IBM Smarter Planner Challenge and IEEE President Change the World competitions. Well, a summary of today's webinar is basically, at a personal front, the technology-based humanitarian programs helps to leverage technology for the benefit of humanity. And not only that, it creates strong public awareness about engineers and the societal impact in creating critical local capacity and opportunities to bring positive changes. So the huge media attention and public awareness we got in India. And to summarize, the success of technology-enabled humanitarian programs motivates engineers and encourages them to engage in developing technological solutions for the benefit of humanity. It also helps us to provide a community-centric design where the affected population can engage themselves as a partners, be part of the design, development, and implementation of the solution. And more, it offers an increased collaborative framework to address the challenges, to address the local and global humanitarian challenges, with its strong public awareness about engineering and the societal impact. The key message here is it's very important that the technical programs should also create opportunities where the local capacity can be created by taking into consideration the local resources and studies that humanitarian programs can be delivered to the benefit of the local community. So these are some of the references of today's talk. Before I actually summarizes and kind of conclude this webinar, I wanted to point out that the host of today's webinar, Matthew, have one more slide where he wanted to give an update on the upcoming programs. So I request the audience to stay connected after the QA session. So the pointers to the IEEE platforms and some of the links about the various programs offered under IEEE. Before I open the floor for QA session, I would like to thank everyone today for joining for this webinar. And this webinar was useful and give you some of the directions where we're engaged to the technology-based humanitarian programs. At this moment, I also would like to thank all the coaches towards the globe from IEEE as well as my professional carriers who have been instrumental in supporting and giving tremendous encouragement towards our activities for 10 years. I open the floor now for queries, and I'll be more than happy to take up queries and answer them today. More queries, and if there are time constraints, please feel free to drop an email. I will be more than happy to answer them as well. Matthew, I open the floor right now for QA session.
That's excellent seminar, webinar on the Humanitarian frameworks and things I believe is getting involved in. I think questions from the audience to Sam. Again, you can enter in the chat. We do a question here. Do you want me to read it out, Sam, or can you see it yourself?
Sure. I see some of the presentation questions here. So you can read it out. I can.
So the question is, you and pilot humanitarian programs on the ground in the field. Were you familiar with the area?
Okay. Well, that's an interesting question. Well, started engaging myself, right? The real challenge was like, eventually I would say. So when I started, I was basically having a lot of domain expertise, right? I was a technologist. So my mission is basically to how I can formulate solutions, how I can connect with the local players, I can understand their needs basically. So if I can interrupt the question here is to gain expertise with respect to field deployment of your solution, right? So that's why it's important for us to actually identify the right partners or NGOs who can do to integrate your solution. Okay, technologists, we can come out with a solution, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure engage the partners and the affected population of the solution formulation method. One can help the technologist to understand not only the solution as well as the exact strategies that we need to follow so that we can build the local capacity. So eventually, once you start engaging yourself, you will require expertise about the problem domain, and you will know what are the strengths of your partners, and you can leverage your technical knowledge with the domain knowledge of the partnering NGOs.
Okay, sir. Any other questions from the audience?
I also see from Hassan, I think.
Yeah.
Connect with you on ideas to grow my local site chapters. Definitely, I'll be more happy to participate the audience to participate if there are avenues where I can actually guide or help the audience if they grow their local site chapters. So,
excellent, and everyone should already have your contact details.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there aren't any other questions, we should move to the final slide. I just have some more information regarding our webinars for the next couple of months. Thank you for participating. For all you participants in this webinar, we are going to send a feedback survey, actually, and we really value your input to actually make these webinars even better. Next IEEE Young Professionals webinar is Tuesday, May 6th at p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Leadership Excellence webinar series, we're actually having part 2 given by Corey Atkinson. He will be here in Canada. I have other IEEE professional services, career-based services, actually. The first being the Trust Center, and it was a service where you connect mentees with mentors to actually give you some kind of guidance, guidance in terms of finding a job or just general information. We also have the IEEE Resume Lab, which gives great pointers on how to make a sharp resume, especially if you're going out in the workforce. Open to suggestions, so any suggestions, please email that email down there, young-professionals@IEEE.org. And our website is IEEE./YP. And I think I'm going to conclude this webinar. I believe that is all the slides. Thank you all for participating, and I'm going to end this webinar.